Well, you asked for it and you liked our other comparisons so much. So today we are comparing the new Gold Label 717E with what else? The Martin D-28, the granddaddy of them all. So stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, visit our spring store linked below for custom swag, and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. So we did a video on this channel just recently, maybe you've seen it, where we compared the new Gold Label 517E from Taylor against its, obvious competition, which would be the Martin D18. And that's an interesting comparison. You should go back and check that out if you haven't seen it. Get an idea of what's going on, both with the changes going on with the Martin series, because they revamped their entire standard series for 2025, and the new Grand Pacific models that are coming out of Taylor that are part of the Gold Label series, because these are very different. Now, there's been a lot of that kind of comment from, in regards to Taylor guitars from a lot of people, including ourselves, over the last few years. There's some models that Andy Powers has made at Taylor that lean very heavily into what Taylor is known for, which is a nice, articulate, modern acoustic guitar tone. But starting with the Grand Pacifics, which I think was 2018, you ever deal with time dilation because of the pandemic? Those guitars started something where the sound was different. It wasn't going for that modern articulate sound. It was looking into the past to a more vintage tone. When he developed the Gold Label line, right off the bat with the Super Auditoriums, there was even more of a slant in that direction. These were guitars made by Taylor meant to appeal to a different type of guitar player. Variety is the spice of life, and manufacturers generally will have a particular tonal profile. But there's a lot of different models that different guitar companies offer in order to appeal to different needs. And that's, I think, really what Andy's doing with the Gold Label series. It also speaks to who he is as a builder and the guitar music he likes and what he likes to build. So they came out with the Super Auditoriums based upon that auditorium shape, different bracing, and different headstock, logo, different aesthetics, and a very, very different sound. Now they've done the Grand Pacific body shape with either mahogany and torrefied spruce or rosewood and torrefied spruce. And that's what I have here. This is the 717E, and it is the Grand Pacific Gold Label body. And it's a little bit different than the normal Grand Pacific. It's a round shoulder dreadnought, but as I mentioned in that other video we shot, it's a lot deeper. This is a full 5-inch depth on this guitar. Now, that's going to come into play as we do this comparison, because I want you to see the difference in the body depth between a D-28, which would be the same for an HD-28, and one of these Gold Label's GPs. I never thought, I said this, I don't know if I said it on the video, but I said it to Cooper. I never thought I'd embrace a guitar that made the D18s feel small. I'm not a very tall person. I'm, 5'7.5" on a good day, but these are big guitars. It's a dreadnought size, so it's already wide, but that depth really adds to that. And that comes across when you're playing it. Let's talk about both of these guitars. So these are both fairly similarly priced guitars. Now, in the past, I would have done this comparison with an HD-28 because it would have had scalloped bracing, and the old D-28 did not. That is no longer the case. Along with a host of other features, which I'll go through, this new 2025 D-28 has scalloped bracing. It follows the GE or Golden Era profile that was first seen in the custom shop and on all modern deluxe models. This is the same profile that's on a modern deluxe. Now, it features a tinted top of spruce, East Indian rosewood back and sides. The other changes are the bridge has a GE profile, the neck has a GE profile, rounded fingerboard that's been thinned, angled nut, and so forth. Since this is not the D18, it's the D28, it has the longer volute on the back of it. And really, it just embraces more vintage aesthetic and bracing styles for this guitar. Compared to the 717, They have the same species of wood on the top, Sitka spruce, although the 717 is torrefied. They both feature East Indian rosewood back and sides. They're dreadnought-ish, although this is square shoulder, this is round shoulder. They both have the same scale length, nut width. Of course, this is Taylor's neck profile. Spacing is on the strings is pretty similar. The bracing could not be more different. So you have a Golden Era Classic Martin scalped X bracing that they invented along with the steel string guitar. This is Andy Power's new take on the V-Class bracing. It's called V fan bracing. So it's V-Class to the bridge plate, and then from the bridge plate down, it's a fan brace, which really opens up the top and allows it to move a lot more. And so there's more sound, there's more resonance in the guitar than just say the normal V-Class would typically have to it. Some other stark differences. This has a Honduran Rosewood bridge, which is part of the design on the Golden Era stuff, which sets it apart a little bit differently. This one has a pickup. This D-28 does not come with a pickup. You can always install one. There's an HD28E option that's available. And let's talk pricing. This guitar is less expensive. And that's a little surprising to me. I don't know what's happening, where they can do it for this price. But I applaud Taylor for bringing these in under $3,000. So the gold label 717E is $27.99 as of right now. You can always check our website at alamomusic.com for the latest pricing because they are subject to change. $32.99 is how much the D-28 is. And honestly, one of the reasons I picked the D-28 over the HD-28 is having that herringbone adds a little bit more money along with the changing of the inlay. So $32.99 is the lower price option to get you a little closer to this. But that's pretty compelling if you're pinching pennies while shopping for guitar. At the end of the day, it really comes down to which one you like the playability of and which one you like the sound of. So let's take a listen to the demos, and then I'll talk about some of the unique kind of things that I felt playing both of these guitars. Check it out. Okay, so you got to listen to what I played. Mostly it was kind of big chordy stuff with some melody there. What I think a lot of people would typically play on a big guitar like this, if not doing kind of, bluegrass style flat picking. So you lock in your opinion of what you heard. Go ahead and put in the comments. Tell me which one you liked better. The first one, the second one, was it the D-28 or was it the 717? Here's what I'll tell you. I like both of these a lot. They sound really, really good. The playability of the Martin is fantastic, okay? I really like this new golden era profile on the neck. The thin fingerboard and the rounding that they're doing is very, very comfortable. And the actions, this hasn't been set up. This is straight from the factory. They're plucking these guitars at Martin now. The action is set up very, very well. So I'm extremely comfortable on this. I like a 1 3/4 inch nut width. Both of these guitars have it, so I liked that. I did feel the string spacing felt a little different on the Martin. But there's something else that I felt too that was very noticeable when switching. And that is that this typically comes with 13 to 56 medium gauge strings. That's what it's strung with. They're Martin Lifespan SP Foster Bronze 13 to 56. They feel great. They drive the top. They give you a lot of sound. And it's that classic D-28 sound that we all know and love. I really, really like it a lot. That being said, what surprises me and makes me think about a few things, with the 717, also very nice neck profile, very comfortable. I mean, it's kind of what Taylor's bread and butter has been for a long, long time, is easy playability on guitars. This is strung with light gauge strings instead of medium gauge strings. Now, generally, Taylor's larger body guitars have had 13 to 56 gauge strings on it. But this comes strung with D'Addario's XS 12 to 53 Foster Bronze strings that are coated. I like them a lot. I wonder how much more you could drive the top of this guitar with 13s. So I'm not sure what the decision behind putting 12s on a big guitar like this is, other than they're adequate enough to drive the top. And the way this is braced, and you can tell me what you thought in the video, I thought they did drive the top very well. They're certainly, it's not like the D-28's louder in any way, shape, or form. Both of these guitars have a lot of volume, and I said this in the last video, the fact that this is deeper gives it a lot of resonance to work with. Martin has done this before. You may remember the Super Ds that they did. There was a Rosewood version, there was a Koa version. In a lot of ways, this body feels like those guitars because of the depth of it. Now, not everyone's going to like that. I've said a few times, I'm going to reiterate, this is a big feeling guitar. So some of you will not like the way that it feels. But that's the trade-off to get this deep resonance that it has. And it's interesting that it works well with light gauge strings. Now, here's the trick that it has up its sleeve. A big part of the gold label, I keep wanting to say golden era gold label. What is it with you guys? Anyways, naming conventions in guitar companies. We'll do a video on that someday. One of the big things with the gold label series is that they have the new control action neck that Andy Powers developed. So it's a long tenon neck joint that you can adjust on the fly. There is a bolt adjustment on the heel or the neck heel block inside the guitar. With the strings on, under tension, you can use a flexible driver and you can adjust it on the fly. So the cool thing about that is you could put medium gauge strings on here and you could adjust the neck angle and the truss rod very easily to suit your tastes. You could bring the neck angle up. You can for different styles of music, like if you were going to go bluegrass or you needed to, go at the guitar with a more pick attack, you could raise it. If you wanted to play more delicately, you could lower it. So that's a real cool thing. But Andy says that the way that that's working has allowed him to do things in correlation to the bracing and other things to get the sound that you want. Everything kind of plays together. So it's a pretty compelling guitar. It's also less expensive. These are really cool. So It's a tough decision at the end of the day. Now, some of you will decide one or another based upon brand preference or loyalty. I think that should kind of go out the window. A guitar is a guitar, and I really like both of these. For a while, I've been wanting an D-28. I've been wanting a D-18 to add to my collection of guitars. I haven't really had anything like that. And if I had to choose today, I would really struggle to make a choice. I do like the sound of this guitar a lot. The depth is something I have to contend with given my height, but it's also pretty easy to play in both cases. So I have a dilemma on my hands. How about you? Did you have a clear winner of which one you thought was better? Does the few $100s of difference, let's see, it's $400, $500 of difference make a big difference to you? Would you choose this because it has a pickup? Would you choose this one because it doesn't? I will say this, just as a dealer for both of these brands that we love, there's kind of a truism. Generally speaking, and I love to speak in generalities, if you build a Taylor without a cutaway and electronics, it usually won't sell. And if we do a Martin with a cutaway electronics, it usually won't sell. But we sell a lot of Martins where we add a pickup into it. But cutaways aren't as welcome in that fan base, I guess, would be the thing to say. And when it comes to Taylor, we've done builds. We've done 314s without a cutaway electronics. It costs less and it just sits. Nobody buys it. So I've heard a lot of times people go, well, I don't want a cutaway. Here you go. No cutaway. You can take out the LR Bags pickup if you don't like it. So anyways, let me know your thoughts and what other comparisons you would like for us to do from these two brands or other brands. And we are game to do it for you to help you find the guitar to suit your needs. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, and visit our website at alamomusic.com for all of your guitar needs. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.